GMs are officially out. Today it starts with the Glassway for everybody normally, but of course you can do all GMs if you have your Conqueror unlocked and just look in a guild. But for today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Glassway specifically, and then other videos I'll talk about each of the other GMs in case you're curious about those guides, and yes, including Lightblade. But for today, let's get started with Glassway. Before talking about the strike, I'm going to quickly go over loadouts. So in my opinion, there's only two variant loadouts that you want to be going into the strike with. One variant is the Div variant, where you're going to just cater around Divinity, and by that I mean you're going to use just precision weapons such as linear fusion rifles and snipers. And then there's going to be the variant of not using Div, which is using something like a bow for overload, or even a machine gun in some cases if you'd like, for example, fixed odds. But I'm personally going to be going into this GM with a linear, regardless if we have Div or not, because of just the strength of the weapon and its void. Speaking of void, in your heavy slot, you're going to want to run Taipan, because you can literally get it for free in the game. It's a free craftable, so it's going to be your best friend for this GM. But if you happen to not have it, there's other options as well, such as a threaded needle if you still have that in your vault from way back at this point. If you somehow don't have any of those, it's fine. You can totally rock something like Cataclysmic still in this strike, even though it's not void, just because of its strength and the synergy with bait and switch for a ton of damage. Any of those is completely fine, but I think linears is the way to go here. You could also get away with rockets, but rockets are a tier down from linears, in my opinion, for your heavy slot. Now, for your energy and kinetics, the top kinetic is definitely going to be Arbalist, of course, because it's ridiculous. It one-shots all barriers instantly without even a single try. It's borderline. No, it's not borderline. It is broken, and I can totally see it getting another nerf in the future to just touch up to not make other anti-barrier weapons complete garbage by comparison. But on the topic of other anti-barriers, if you don't want to use Arbalist, like me personally, I'm not going to be using Arbalist today. I'm going to be using Agar Scepter. We'll get into that. You can use a weapon such as Pointed Inquiry for adaptive munitions, or any weapon with adaptive munitions going into a season that was done a champion. The reason for this is because basically adaptive munitions makes it a two-shot on any barrier champion, and this includes GMs. So let's say a servitor in Glassway, you would use a Pointed Inquiry or whatever the stun weapon might be for that particular season. It would be two shots to stun that barrier champion. It's not a one-shot like Arbalist, but it's still pretty damn good. On top of that, it's also Void for this particular GM because it is Void Burn in Glassway, so it's pretty good. Pointed Inquiry is also a craftable weapon that you can get in the Enclave, so that's a bonus as well for a guaranteed adaptive munitions roll. But if you don't have that, you just use any adaptive munitions roll that you might have in your vault, and it'll be totally fine. Then, like I mentioned, I'm using Agar Scepter. Now, it's not Arbalist. It's not going to Weenie Hut Jr. all the anti-barrier champions off, but technically speaking, Agar's does have built-in anti-barrier, quote-unquote, and it just shreds through barriers regardless whether it's Arbalist or not. You'll probably see that in the footage you'll be seeing in a second here below. But it also has insane crowd control capabilities, which is why I'm using it. I rather control all the crowds so my teammates don't get overwhelmed than focus on one barrier champion, because I know my teammates can handle one barrier on their own. So that's my recommendation for loadouts. Again, you could also rock a sniper if you'd like. That's totally fine. Just coordinate your champion stuns based on whether you have Divinity and all that, and you'll be fine. For characters, obviously, Wall of Radiance is the go-to for a Warlock. It's not even debatable. It's kind of silly, really. You could use a Controverse Warlock if you have multiple Warlocks on your team, because it's Void, and so you get a nice kick out of it with using Controverse holds. Other than that, Titan, you can go Solar, or I guess Sentinel Shield or Bubble. Bubble, I really wouldn't recommend. Sentinel Shield, at least you can block damage in this Nightfall. And then Hunters, I think you should just stick to Tether still. Void Burn, all that. Tether, really helpful. Invis if you're in a pinch with, like, Vex Chickens at the end. And that's it. So let's roll into the footage. Quick edit, I just realized I completely talked over the bow that I'm using. The bow is Under Your Skin, which you can craft at the ward table in the helm from season of the whatever the hell Slabs Battlegrounds was from. It is a really solid bow. You can get Explosive Head on it, which Archer's Tempo. Very solid. Obviously, you don't want Taken Spec, because no Taken for Glassway. But it's a Void Burn bow. It stuns overloads, as Explosive Head. Literally your best option for a overload outside of just spamming Divinity and everything. Highly recommend that you get it if you don't already have it. And if you're not the Div person in your fire team, if you can, run this bow. Really good. Alright, moving on. For the strike itself, I'm going to try to give you guys tips along the way, so this is real time. First tip I'd like to give here is go into this spot, jump down, and then jump back up. This allows you to have breathing room and also makes it so the Overload will teleport right here instead of just being in a corner over there with the Servitor. You just stun him like so, deal with these jabronis, and then the Servitor doesn't come down, and you can just kill this Overload Captain freely and then bully the Servitor afterwards, whether you need, you know, Aeon ammo or not, whatever it may be. Boom, he's dead, Servitor comes down, and you have much more breathing room than an annoying-ass Servitor with an Overload teleporting with an immune shield. So there you go, first tip, just gonna kill this idiot, and then we're gonna move on. Second tip, once you've killed the Servitor and you go up to this section, go up to the point where the snipers will spawn, but don't go past this rock point. Basically, you shouldn't go past this pillar, because if you do, another Servitor comes down, so in the event of that, just stay back, and bully this Overload Captain first. You only have an Overload, some snipers, and the boss up at this point. You can easily kill the snipers from here if you'd like. Also, alternatively, you can go over here while your teammates are fighting the Overload, and then have a free shot at all of the snipers in a basically free angle. Like, let's say if the sniper's there, I can shoot him if he wants, but he ran away like a little coward right there, and deal with the snipers very easily in like a one-on-one situation. Bam, sniper's dead, and now everything should be dead except the boss. At this point, you can just push up a little bit, go push up the middle, and then nuke the boss, and that way the boss dies, and then you can go climb the middle point of the room, which makes the Servitor come up, and go like this, and then you back up. So for my personal experience, I'm going to do this, because Aggers does not give a damn. And then he's dead. Easy peasy. Moving on to the next section after these guys are dead. For this next part, it's kind of the similar thing. You shouldn't put up to a certain point, because you're going to make more ads spawn. What you should do is here, sit back and try to kill the Overload / the Lieutenant as fast as possible while dealing with the minimal ads from this range. So for example, you have some Shanks and a couple of Vandals here with the Overload and the Captain. If you push up, you're going to get another Servitor to spawn in and then make things much more difficult. Instead, just deal with the stuff like so that you have more breathing room. As you can see, the Overload Captain's getting bullied right now. And then if you have multiple wells, or if you have a well that you can get back very quickly, just go bang, just so you can deal with the boss real quick. So we're going to deal with him right now. He's a little bit chunky, so it might take a second. I'll skip forward here. Alright, so the boss is about to die. Now that he's dead, you can push up, and in this case, you know where the Servitor spawns, which is typically right there. So you can be ready for him, freeze him up, or Arbalest him out of his mind. Bam, no chance at all. And then you just deal with Shanks and Vandals as you'd like. Whether you want to push up or not, it's up to you. But it's not very difficult at this point. Moving on, we're going to go next to the plate section. Now that we're at the plate room, this is a good time to mention, make sure you have 100 resilience going into any GM, because it's quite literally free damage resist. There is no reason for you to not have 100 resilience if your armor is capable of it. It is ridiculously free to the point of, like, it genuinely makes the game easy, in my opinion, with 100 resilience. 40% damage reduction is silly. Moving on, at 40% during this encounter, you're going to have Vandal Snipers spawning to the left, and approximately at 60, you're going to have Vandals spawning on the right. I say approximately because sometimes they just start teleporting and falling off the map and shit, so it's kind of weird to tell timing-wise, but that is the general timing for them. So you want to kind of clear everything as you're getting to 40 and 60 before you move on. In this case, you know, clear all the Shanks and whatnot, get your teammate up, pop the well up while my teammates are here. So the Vandals are up on the left right here. Gonna take them out as a priority. They're dead. Gonna start looking to the right. Bam, there we go. There's one. Pretty sure one just fell into the water, so he's gonna teleport back up in a second probably. There we go. He's shooting me through the wall apparently. That's cool. So once both Vandals are dead, it's pretty free. It's just Shanks. Alrighty, so we're at the boss room. I'm gonna give you guys a quick briefing on how you should do the boss room and make it very, very smooth. The idea here is going to be Overload phase, you sit in the left room. Wyvern phase, at least for the first 3, you're going to want to be right here. The reason for this is because when the Wyverns spawn, they're going to teleport straight to the middle, and you can funnel them in, and then use your heavy or tether or whatever you want to use against them, and nuke them just like that, instead of sitting in the left room, and then, like, unfortunately, one of them will just teleport behind you like an asshole, and it insta-kill you. Here, it doesn't really happen that way. They never teleport behind you in the middle, so it's a perfect combination. For the beginning of the fight, you're going to want to go all the way over here immediately and try to spawn kill the Overload, because it's just a free kill. There we go. Alright, get inside. Overload's here. Overload's dead. Lol W. Let's sneak this jabroni real quick. One more shot, he should be leaving. Alright, overloads are coming. First one's on me. You guys see the other one?
Yeah, middle. I'm gonna have him teleport.
Who needs weapons when you got fusion grenades? Once you've dealt with all the overloads, the boss should either be like right here or in this section typically. You're going to want to go ahead and go to the middle at this point while he's over here so he doesn't shoot you. And then from this point, you're going to just do free damage on him until he leaves. Try to conserve your heavy here and just use your special, or like my fusion nades for example, in the middle. So all you got to do really is just have tether ready or whatever you want to use in the wyverns and just try to nuke him immediately. They're going to teleport on top of us here in a second. Just get ready.
Wyverns?
Yeah, they're going to come to the middle. You can tether now. See, like, that's so free.
Yeah, I could see that.
And then you can stun the berries if you want to. I got Agriceptor. Oh, look, they're effing dead. Wow. I'm gonna go left immediately here. So once you dealt with the wyvern phase, you just go back to the left side right here. The overloads, again, are gonna just teleport right to you. And you just stun them. Spam fusion nades, or heavy ammo at him. This one's already almost dead. I'm just gonna go on the finisher and deal with him here. Then wait for the next one. Make sure he doesn't, go for the old flank here. There he is, perfect. And then once he's dead, now it's time for the damage phase again. So for this one, the boss will immune instead of leave. So what you want to do is you're going to go to the middle and then damage him. And then as soon as he's immune, you want to have either a hiding situation here for the overloads, or if you have camo or something, you want to go back to the left side once the overloads are actually up. Go back left.
Overload's middle.
Pulling the boss.
Rushing in.
Dead.
Alright.
Once we make him leave, then we just go back to left. Go left, left. Once you deal with this wyvern, you can focus on nuking the mini hydra, and then he's going to summon 2 more wyverns. And once you deal with those, then it's pretty much free sailing home. So let me just deal with this guy real quick. All right, you know what? We're just gonna do that. Okay, hockey stick to the face. Gotcha. All right, so at this point, we're gonna nuke the mini hydra. Okay, we don't need one for the final phase. One. Oh, teleport. Nice.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
This is why
Love
I
that.
pop well. You get the res. I'm gonna finish this idiot.
Yep.
Bam. Dead. Alright, now it's just barriers. So for the final phase, you're gonna have just the barriers and the boss remaining in the arena. So what you can do here is obviously you can just kill the barriers while you're at it. However, I wanted to mention the other strat of you can actually just hit the barriers and then simply kill the boss, and by tap firing the barriers and then killing the boss, the game registers as the barriers dying, so that you just have a platinum score regardless if you actually kill the barriers yourself or not. So for example, you see me tap firing the barriers here, and then I'll just focus on the boss, and whether the barriers are dead or not, by the time he's dead, either way, you're gonna get platinum. So it's not gonna matter, and then you just kill the boss, clap, bam, dead. just like that. It's not obviously a cakewalk, like you're not going to get a first try if you're not experienced with this GM, but once you get used to like flowing between middle and left, and knowing that the Vex sometimes are teleporting assholes, you should be fine to get this GM done. That's it. Let me know anything else that I should mention next time, or maybe a question in the comments that you're confused about, and I'll see you guys in the next GM guide video. Hope you enjoyed. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. It does help the channel. Also, Twitch in the description. Stream daily. Blah, blah, blah. You know the deal. Alright. Goodbye.